Let's unbox some stuff. I hope I didn't just break this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around. We have a lot of fun on this channel. We do live streams, unboxings, we do game reviews, things of that nature. So if that sounds like something up your alley, hang out. Let's be friends. Kinda, sorta. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Retron 2 HD. This is a clone console by HYPERKIN. If you're not familiar with HYPERKIN, they make a lot of different third-party accessories and clone consoles. This one is a NES and Super NES clone console, 2-in-1. It has a 16:9 and 4:3 switch. It is, supposed to output in 720p. We're going to check that out. It does have an NTSC and PAL region switch. So let's take a look inside, see all the contents that it comes with, and let's put it to the test, right? All right, let's take out my trusty razor blade here. Always make sure you cut away from yourself. Do not cut towards yourself. Be responsible. When you open the box, you are greeted with the console, as you can see here. This is the Retron 2 console. And let's go ahead and take this out. You come out. Okay, or just, take out the whole cardboard and everything. Here we have the Retron 2 HD. As you can see, what I thought was pretty unique was if you push up on the power button, it goes to NES. If you push down, it goes power on for the Super NES. I thought that was pretty cool. As you can see, you have your reset button here. It does not have an eject button, so I am very curious to see if this has the same issues as the Retron 5 did, where it has like the grip of death on your cartridges, and if you pulled it out, it would pull the pins out as well. The pins do look a little bit more updated, so hopefully we don't have that issue. It does look pretty nice. It does look pretty sturdy. It feels nice and heavy. As you can see here on the bottom, I don't know if you can see that too good, but you have your NTSC and PAL switch for the Super Nintendo here on the bottom, and right here at the top, you have your NES, NTSC, and PAL switch there as well. So on the front here, you have your Super Nintendo ports on opposite sides. I think that's a little strange. I probably would have opted for the Super Nintendo ports being closer to each other and then the NES ports being closer to each other over on this side. Just having it split out, I mean, I guess aesthetically it looks okay, but for, I don't know, the practicality and OCD in me is just kind of like, why did you do that? But I don't know, maybe that's just a weird thing that I'm not really crazy about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, whether you like this, layout for that, and we'll go from there. And right here on the back, I'm gonna get a little bit closer so you guys can see this. You have your 16:9 and 4:3 switch. You have your HDMI port. It does support composite. So if you would prefer playing this in composite and put it onto a CRT or something like that, you can do that as well. And then you have your micro USB power supply slot there as well. So let's take a look at the rest of the accessories and see what else it came with. Also inside the box, you get two controllers, one in the Super Nintendo style format and one in the regular NES style format. So this one I believe is called the Cadet, and this one is also called the Scout. You can get these separately. I don't know if you can get them in this colorway. I don't know. I've never seen this one in this colorway. I have seen this in this colorway, but this is actually a really nice feeling controller, to be honest with you. When it comes to HYPERKIN stuff, I'm never really crazy about their products, but for some reason I felt like I was gonna take a chance on this one. This controller does feel pretty good. I do like the little raised back of this NES controller. It does feel really nice when you're holding onto it. I don't know, it seems a little bit nicer than when you're holding a regular NES controller, which is very strange for me to say, but it does feel really nice. Also, same thing goes for the Scout controller here. It does have the raised back. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does have like little lumps, like almost like the PSP 1000 had. So just slightly raised, nothing too crazy, and the buttons do feel very, I don't want to say responsive. They feel like they pop back up pretty good. If you know what I'm talking about, like the rubber membrane inside there feels like it is pressing the controller back so I can have nice like rapid fire button presses if I wanted to. I know that's real technical terms, but you know, I don't want to get too smart on you guys. Also inside you do have a little instruction manual. It does seem like it is in black and white. If you can't figure out how to plug this console in, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'll be a little concerned for you. It's very, you know, straightforward. You plug an HDMI into it, you plug the HDMI into your TV, and you plug the power in. You don't need instructions. So let's see what other kind of things that it came with. With the Retron 5, that console actually came with a power adapter with multiple different regions, electrical socket plugs. I don't know what you want to call them, but this is the box with the accessories. Let's see if it comes with like a similar set of things. So this is the micro USB cable that it comes with for the power. Let's see how long this is. I would say this is probably about maybe 3 foot, 4 foot. You know, it's not too long. This seems like, yeah, maybe about 4 or 5 foot. Nah, that's, who cares? It's not long. It's like 3 or 4 foot. You get the point. So the power adapter that it comes with is very similar to the regular iPhone and Android USB power adapters. So this one is a 5 volt, so it's exactly what you would get with an iPhone or something like that. So that's all you really need for the power. Say you happen to lose your power adapter or anything like that, it should be relatively easy to get a replacement, or if anything goes wrong with it. So you got a pretty standard, and looks like it is very short HDMI cable here. So let's see how long this is. Yeah, that's really small. That's more like 3 foot. The power cable itself is probably like 5 foot. So this is really, really short. I don't know if I'm gonna use this. I'll probably need to get something a little bit longer. I probably have something laying around, but if you have your console kind of far away from your TV, just be aware that this is a very, very short HDMI cable that it does come with. So if you need to get a longer HDMI cable, and oddly enough, it does come with composite cables as well. I pretty much will not be using these, so yeah, whatever. So let's go plug this in. Let's take a look at what it has to offer. I am planning on throwing some curveballs at it. Let's see if it can run like Star Fox with the FX chip, Stunt Race FX. Let's see if it can run some reproduction carts and things of that nature. So let's do some comparisons and see how this thing holds up. So one more thing before we actually get into some gameplay, I do want to show you guys one cool feature. When you turn the console on, there's a little logo right here that when you turn it on, it lights up. I thought that was a nice little touch. Alright, so as you can see here, the first game we put in is Star Fox, and on the left you can see that the Retron 2, the colors are popping a little bit more than the Super Nintendo, which is plugged in with HD Retrovision cables and using a RetroTink line doubler as well. And I've got to say that I'm pretty impressed by the Retron 2's picture. The edges of the lines are pretty crisp. The text is extremely legible. There's no real haze or anything like that you would normally notice on a retro console plugged in to an HD TV these days. As you can see where it says Shield at the very bottom left, and as stage 1 here is flashing, you can tell that there's a pretty big difference with the way that the text is displayed here on the screen. And the reason why I put Star Fox in is because Star Fox uses a Super FX chip, and most clone consoles, if they have any issues running any games, normally it would be with one of the Super FX chip games like Star Fox or Stunt Race FX. So with the Retron 2 running this game with no issues whatsoever, it's pretty impressive. So I would say that the first test that we've put it through is a pass. It is running Star Fox, which is a Super FX chip like we mentioned before, and it looks pretty good. The lines, like I said, are pretty clear, and the gameplay, everything, colors, it's pretty nice. So here is a game anyone will recognize. This is Super Mario World, and yes, I know that the footage is not synced up entirely. I am sorry, it is two different gameplay sessions, so just, forgive me. But the message that I'm trying to get across here is that, the colors on the left-hand side, which is the Retron 2 HD, are popping pretty nicely. The picture does look really good, and I do want to state that this is a $75 console with two controllers, HDMI cable, and includes your power cable all in one box. The image on the right, if you do prefer that image, then that is more of a $150 plus option. So as a HD clone console, I'm just pretty much trying to say that this is a pretty impressive result for something at the price point that it is. I am not really experiencing any real latency issues. It feels very responsive. Everything is working the way that I would normally want it to work if I were to sit down and have a gameplay session. It is extremely compact. It is extremely affordable, in my opinion. And overall, I just want to say that it's a pretty good option so far, but let's take a look at some NES gameplay as well. So here we have Super Mario Bros. 1, and as you can see, this is the 4x3 mode, which the Retron 2 HD has, that the RetroTink, unfortunately, I'm not able to put in 4x3 mode. It does have line doubling and smoothing and things of that nature, but 4x3 is not one of the modes that it does support. So this is a comparison of Super Mario Bros. On the regular NES versus the Retron HD, which, in all honesty, you can't really compare the two. The one on the left looks absolutely fantastic. This is the main reason why I ended up getting the Retron 2 HD, is because I really wanted something that I can play my NES games on and not have to spend $150 just for a NES setup. Now, I could go get a AVS console by Retro USB, or I could dish out $400 and get a Mini NT by Analog, which both of those systems are absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately that's not in my budget at the moment. So that is all I'm really trying to say, is that as a budget clone console that you can get a really nice picture out of without having to spend an arm and a leg, this is a fantastic option. And like I was mentioning before about the Retron 5 having this death grip on your cartridges when you go to switch games, this console does not have that issue. I was able to swap games really easily. I didn't feel like I was ripping the pins out as I was changing games, which I felt was a big improvement over the Retron 5. So this also doesn't have this user interface that you have to go through. You literally plug your game in, you turn it on, and it is ready to go just like that. It's that simple. But if you are a fan of the user interface that the Retron 5 does have to offer, this is not the console to get if you want to do things like preload it with cheats or maybe use save states. That is not what this console is about. This is really just a plug and play type of situation where you want to play your games like you would originally on original hardware, just with an HDMI port and, ease of accessibility. I also threw in a couple of multi-carts and reproduction carts that I had, and they played absolutely fine. I did not have any issues with them whatsoever, so much like Star Fox, it does play reproductions and multi-carts. I also put in a couple of PAL games as well, like Street Fighter on the Super Famicom, Puyo Puyo, and I had absolutely zero issues whatsoever. And the last test I want to do is a quick audio test by checking out the sound effects on Super Mario Bros. 1. They are pretty iconic, and you can pretty much tell the difference between them when you are looking for differences between the clone console and the regular NES console itself. that is pretty much like one thing that a lot of people complain about with clone consoles, is that they cannot replicate the original audio properly. I do think that partial reasoning behind this is because the regular NES is using one single audio output, as where the clone console is outputting from an HDMI source, so it is using a little bit different technology. But take a listen for yourself and you tell me what you think in the comments. So there you guys have it. There's a quick little look at the Retron 2 HD. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you like it enough to stick around and hang out with me and check out some more videos on the channel, make sure to do that. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to, also you can follow me on any of my social media. You can find that in the links on my channel. You can also find it in the description. Thank you guys again. I will see you on the next video.